Honourable members, Madam Speaker.
Prayer.
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen.
Item 2 on the order paper, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I want to welcome you to this afternoon sitting. And as I said yesterday, today we should be able to review the rules before we go into Prime Minister's time. I also want to inform you that we have a lot of pending business at committees. We have 10 bills and 3 petitions pending in various committees. Such delays in processing business violates the parliamentary calendar. And I want to ask the chairpersons of those committees to ensure that we have all that business ready in 1 week. If they don't do it, I will come and name them in the house. We will name and shame. I urge these committees really to work so hard so that by the time we go from the ministerial policy statements, we are able to do our work efficiently without any encumbrance, because we have bills that are pending. Honorable members, I am in receipt of a notification from Electoral Commission extending the timeline for the general update of the National Voters Register by 1 week, from 11th February to Monday 17th February 2025. So if you've not registered, kindly go and register so that you exercise your constitutional mandate to vote for the person you wish to do so. I want to urge all of you, especially Sage. I know yes. Sage, please make sure you go and register. As I guided during the previous sitting, I want us to move with the rules, and I'm happy the chairman is here. Chairman, we are aware you have a problem, you've lost somebody. We are with you in prayer, and we'll continue praying for you. And given the importance of these rules, I had to plead with the chairman to be around. Please, we'll do that very fast and we'll let you go. Honorable members, I want to thank you once more. And I also want to inform the House that Honorable Sechi is bound to host the Pope of Orthodox. Maybe we could hear from him.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, and thanks for the kind introductions. Right Honorable Speaker and members, and the Right Honorable Prime Minister, it's true, the Patriarch and Pope of Alexandria and the whole of Africa, Theodore II of the Orthodox Church. Of course, for me, I'm a small person. I'm just the knight of the Pope. I can't even tie his shoelaces. Yes, I'm a small member of the church.
But small Theodore.
Yes, a small Theodore. He'll be visiting, he's on a 3-country visit, starting with Nairobi, Kenya, but he'll be arriving in Uganda on the 18th of this month, next week. We hope he'll have audience with His Excellency the President, but then after he'll be received at the church. On 19th, Right Honorable Speaker and members, the Pope will be having his patriarchal visit to St. George and Andrew Church, Remiaga, on the 19th. That is a Wednesday, before proceeding to Gulu on the 20th. He will conclude his visit to the Eastern region in Jinja, the Eastern Church, where he will be in Jinja. We hope he will have his itinerary arranged, but the bishops of those areas are well informed and they are coordinating well. And I take the opportunity, Right Honorable Speaker, to invite you and the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the honorable members of Parliament present. Let's meet the Pope, let's take the blessings, and it is non-partisan. We are all one in God, and that is his message. He comes at a time when the country needs his message, and we look forward to every support of members of Parliament with your presence and every support. I'm glad that Honorable Elijah Okupa is heading the protocol at the reception of the Pope, and I hope he'll work tirelessly to ensure that everything goes on well together with other members. I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker. I thank you for the opportunity and the blessing of the church.
Thank you. I'll give you another person to help Honorable Elijah to head the protocol. That is Mr. Dilo. He was one of the one who received our Pope when the Pope came to Uganda. Thank you so much for the invite, and let's support Sechi by going to welcome the Pope and be with him. On issues of religion, we are all together. Yes.
Madam Speaker, I accept the appointment to lead the
Thank you,
protocol.
thank you. Thank you, Honorable Linus. Bukabula.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You know, we all know very well that tomorrow is a day of love. And yes, and we all have loved ones. It's Valentine's Day. So I implore members and all of us to share love wherever necessary, so that God can also accept us when we go to Him. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
I wouldn't imagine Linus to be somebody talking about love. He doesn't look one who can love. Yes, Bugabula.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we appreciate the communication from EC. But Right Honorable Speaker, the machines are not working even after extending the dates. And two, in my sub-county, there is one person who will give the schedule, that I will be in A on Wednesday, I will be in C on Friday. Meaning if people miss that person on Wednesday, they can't get the chance. So Right Honorable Speaker, through your office, let the Electoral Commission really step up the game. As they give these dates and as they extend, the machines up to now are not working. They have one person in the sub-county who is registering, and this sub-counties really can't be covered by that person in that style. Thank you, Right Honorable.
Thank you. I am going to inform the chairperson of Electoral Commission on your finding. Yes. There's
Right,
information on the same. Let's get on EC.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. In addition to what Honorable is talking about, stipulated time of Electoral Commission starting its work, it's supposed to start at about between 8 and 9 to 6, but they come in at 10 and leave by 1. So by the time these other people who want to come in the afternoon find they have left, so let them keep time such that their voters or these other people are given chance to register themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk, take note of all the concerns of members.
Right Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
in relation to that, there is a Giso, here I'm going on record, called Orujuma Joseph. He is a Giso for the West. This Giso is not only asking money from the people, Soroti West Division. He is not only asking for money to stamp on the forms, but he also first asks you, whom do you support? There is a lady called Lois Akelo in Majengo that he asked that you want to transfer to the West. Where have you been, Serere? And the lady, he asked the lady, whom are you going to vote for? The lady said, Ebualu. The man chased away the lady. The lady is called Lois Akelo. It is on record. So some Gisos are not doing what is correct.
Now that is the Giso.
Yes.
That is not EC. Now we are speaking about EC, the registration of EC.
Right.
The issue of the Giso can be handled with the Minister of Security.
Right Honorable
With the Minister
Speaker.
of Security.
Right Honorable Speaker, why I raised this, the exercise is being conducted by the Electoral Commission. But there is a space in the form that a Giso must sign.
But honorable members, let's be sensitive to our voters. When you mention the identity of that lady, you're endangering that lady. You don't know what the other person can do to the lady. So you can actually just say one of the voters. So long as you mention the name of the Giso. Protect your voters. Yes. Yes, Alan. Then,
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in addition to that, in Nakaseke Central, the technical people from Electoral Commission, they're asking some money, like money for electricity. Because these kids are using electricity. Therefore, they're
asking for money from who?
For those who are registering. These machines, these kits are using electricity. So the government is not paying the electricity for those machines. Therefore,
now let me tell you, the government has paid money for everything. There is nobody who is supposed to ask for money to update anybody's data.
So, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker.
Now as a leader of that area, if you get that somebody is asking for money, please report to police, and police must get that person.
Madam Speaker, the reason why I'm here as their representative is to aid their matter or their issues, so that the Electoral Commission or the government comes in and do the needful.
Excuse me. Let's not continue lamenting. Where there's a problem, we should be able to take action. That is criminality. If you're asking for a bribe, you're asking for money from people, you as a leader must inform security and ask, what is this happening here? Because we are not going to continue being with those people like that. If it is true, you should take an action Actually, after here, give me the names of the people. And then I take an action for you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam's Right Honorable.
Aisha, you don't have problems in Butambalon. After
Chair, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm only shy to say I have actually helped to pay. Yes, because when, first of all, time is running out, okay?
No, we've
People have
extended
been
one
chased
way.
back and forth to look for money. The LCs themselves are extracting money from people. The DSOs are extracting money. Actually, some are so arrogant, they say, tell them, I have refused to register you, do whatever you want. That's what is
Is that
happening.
money for photocopying the forms or what?
For signature. They say it's their money for their signature.
Right Honorable,
In
additional
fact,
information.
Speaker, if I may conclude, the LCs, some of them have colluded with security agencies. They collect forms in bulk from people who give them money, sign for them, collect forms, take them to the GISOs, and append their signatures. For people whom they think will not vote on the side that they want, they refuse to help them. They tell them to look for the GISOs wherever they are.
Okay,
The system
okay.
is so ugly, it is not helping our people.
We'll take an action within this 1 week. Yes, Honorable Itungo,
Yes,
then I come back to you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I've been in this election since 2010. And whenever there is this exercise, the Commission has been sending at least a computer in every parish. But what is happening now, they have sent one computer for a sub-county. And for my case, there are 11 sub-counties. There are only 9 computers. And these computers are in a very dangerous mechanical condition. There is a workshop of mechanics running up and down. And when you look at the Article 62 of the Constitution, this commission is supposed to be independent. The information I got, that these computers were borrowed from NIRA. How can an independent commission borrow from NIRA? So even if they extend days and years, if they don't have enough kits on the ground, this exercise will not be successful. So, Madam, we need to do something as far as the kits are concerned, not even the number of days. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. In addition to the computers which are in very dangerous condition, very many areas, and I think it is across the country, but I will speak for my constituency and my district, are not having electricity. So these computers, of course, work for a short time and are out of battery. And as a result, the people are sent back home. People are getting disappointed and disgusted with the way we work as a government. And it's an issue that will make it very difficult at elections. You know, this can also sway people from one side to another.
Thank you.
I beg that this issue is handled.
Semakula.
Right Honorable Speaker, what Honorable Alan Mayanja was talking about is very true. Most of the rural areas, we are experiencing road shedding most of the time. Like for example, in Akaseka, we may take almost 4 days without power. Yet people are supposed to register and these kits use electricity. So we are facing that challenge. People may wish to come and do registration, but they may find out that there is no electricity, and people who are supposed to register them have no alternative. Maybe government may come out with some alternative of maybe getting some generators for the meantime as the exercise is moving on smoothly. Thank you, Right Honorable
Honorable members, at least you've raised substantive issues on Electoral Commission. I am going to ask the Prime Minister to get out, call the chairman of Electoral Commission, give the chairman some of the things that have been raised, and you report to us at Prime Minister's time. Okay? Because it is, let's first get here from Lob, because this is very crucial.
Honorable Speaker, I thank you. Honorable Speaker, about 2 weeks ago, I raised this matter with several concerns regarding the update of the voters' register. The presiding officer then sent this matter to the relevant committee. The committee brought to us here a good report, which we discussed a bit, and government committed to take action. Because there were numerous concerns cutting across, by the way. There was the concern of very few kits and also scattered in humongous places. You find one sub-county having one kit, 3 sub-counties having one kit. And again, these few kits were also faulty, many of them. There was another concern, Honorable Speaker, of GSOs, DSOs, HISOs, FISOs, and all of those. And we were saying these people have no business at all in the electoral process. Even more problematic is they ask for money from people. And all of these were captured in that report, Honorable Speaker. Government committed to take action. We asked government to prevail upon the EC to avail more time, because even government considered that there were all these issues. So we said the limited number of days would not be adequate. We were happy to see the Electoral Commission extend this by 1 week. And we said, government, we hope that in these 7 days, you're going to fix all the issues that have been raised by all the members here. We are now into the extra 7 days, but the issues have not been sorted out. Honorable, I think government needs to relook into that. When we asked for the extension, it wasn't just for the sake of it. It was so that, number one, make sure there is adequate number of kits, the kits are functional, so that all the people who want to go, and whether it be to check their votability, the new voters, those that want to transfer, are able to do it. But now we are into the extra days, and there's all these concerns. I hope that government can find it worthy, that you can extend some more, but also don't want to keep extending again and again. Do what you ought to do. Avail the kits, because this process is very important. Government came to Parliament to avail money for this electoral process. Money was availed. What is the problem? So I also don't want to keep Honorable Speaker standing here and saying, let's extend, because there must be a limit. Because now the extension is being caused by the inefficiencies on the part of government. We want an update on how those things are being fixed.
Thank you. And you find some of these staff who were updating the registers were students, and the students have gone back to school. So because they've gone back to school, then there is a vacuum that needs to be filled. So at the time of Prime Minister's time, we'll need to hear from you, the Prime Minister, after you've talked to the chairman of Electoral Commission. Yes, on the same, I have made a ruling on this one. On what? Yes, Alex.
Right, Honorable Speaker. You did raise an issue regarding the legislative agenda, which agenda was distributed to all the chairpersons and by extension to all members. I am now seeking your guidance. Having read and seen the legislative agenda, and I approached the minister or the ministry concerned 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and there is no response from a government department. What am I expected to do as a chairperson of a committee for fear of being named as being inefficient?
What business do you have in your committee?
I'm a chairperson of a committee, right, Honorable Speaker.
I am asking, what business do you have in your committee? Do you have a bill?
Yes, I have a bill, right, Honorable Speaker, regarding the disaster management in the country.
I want that bill.
Come again?
Thank you. Yes, Ethel.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm here to plead with you so that you continue guiding us together with the committee chairs on matters that are times where we conflict. For example, now We are having sectoral committees occupying us because now it's time for sectoral committees. But we have standing committees, especially now for accountability committees. Their work is stuck. We have to first finish the sectoral work. But we shall not have an extension of the 6 months or to handle the auditing.
We shall give an extension of 2 months.
Thank you so much.
On standing committees. Yes. Yes. Christine, I hope it is not a matter of national importance.
No. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, you have raised your voice and the information to us, but when we go down to translate the same information, we really cannot transfer the same information about the extended days because of the cut-off community radios and community microphones. Yes, some of our districts...
Now, that is why I was asking you. That is it the matter you wanted to raise? I want you to raise it at the time of Prime Minister's time, because I need your question to be answered very well. I know what your question is. Thank you. Next item. Yes. Prime Minister, we are waiting for your response.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yesterday, after raising issues of grading of students, you directed the Minister of Education, of which none of them is around here, that Tuesday will bring a statement. But the procedural matter I'm raising, we are getting more issues. Now, the lead paper in Uganda Monitor has said there is an issue about criteria of selection of students. And I would pray, if it is procedure okay, to ask the Prime Minister to direct the Minister of Education.
Monitor is a lead paper.
The lead story, Madam Speaker. Lead story. Madam Speaker, my prayer is that if it is procedure okay for the Prime Minister, when the Minister is coming on Tuesday, also to include this. As far as I know now, there shouldn't be any child denied to go to St. Mary's because of poor marks, King's College Wodo, because they all passed. So the classes of schools must all disappear now because they all passed, and that business where they have been looking for first class A44, if every student passed and the parent has money, my child should go to Wodo, King's College, Namagunga, everywhere, because we are removing classes of grades. And this is stated by trained teachers.
We will discuss that on Tuesday.
So I would like to know that criteria by knowing the real facts, so that we stop getting calls from our friends. I want my child. We don't know, it is a clear deal. Every parent can send as long as the child has one.
There is passing with the A. There is passing with the B,
but he has
C,
the order is one. C. They are all supposed to go to King's College, Madam Speaker. According, they all pass, they will get a certificate.
Thank you. Next order, he has finished. Next.
Item 3 on the order paper.
Members need an assurance that you're going to give us a feedback on this.
Right Honourable Speaker, I thank the members for raising what is in the papers, but since this is a newspaper,
easy.
I'm going to take it up and give it to the Minister of Education. When she's here on Tuesday, she will come and give a clarification. Right Honourable Speaker, about the EC, the Speaker said I should go and consult. So it is not now, but as I consult, Right Honourable Speaker, I talked also to some of these people who were raising issues in the community. Like she said, some of the things you need to take action. These people are getting money on their person. It is not a government instruction that go and pick money from the voters. People are doing it illegally. So as a leader, you have to take action by reporting them to the police so that it is taken up. not just to keep quiet
Honorable
and you start
members.
paying like my colleague Honorable Aisha did, that I had to pay. Government has paid for everything. You are not supposed to pay for electricity. You are not supposed to pay for, being registered, being updated. Nobody is supposed to pay. So they are illegally doing this. Please, members, let us take action as leaders. You report these people to police so that it is handled. I thank you.
Thank you. Could you give that information to the chairman and get back to us on what the chairman says at the time of Prime Minister's time? Honorable members, in a public gallery this afternoon, we have students from Kampala International University, from Greater West Nile Students Association, and they are represented, they are here to observe the proceedings. They are represented by all the members of Parliament of West Nile. You stand up. These are your members. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Even Aisha is from West Nile. Thank you. You wave at them. Honorable members, in the public gallery this afternoon we have students from Rwantama Child Development Center in Busiro County North. That is Wakiso District. They are represented by Honorable Nsubuga Paul and Honorable Naluima Ethel. Ethel is there, your member of Parliament. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Everybody.
Madam Speaker, allow me this opportunity to welcome the Busronians. You are welcome to Parliament. This is where everything happens, and we are busy deliberating for you to have a better Uganda. You are welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
You have had your member of Parliament.
Right Honorable Speaker, in a similar vein, may I take this opportunity to welcoming my students from West Nile. Yes, from West Nile to come and witness how we deliberate on their issues related to development of the roads, electricity, issues of infrastructure. Thank you very much. You're welcome, my dear son.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 3 on the order paper. Statement.
Yes.
Statement by Minister on the 48th commemoration of St. John and Elohim Day, 16th February 2025.
Honorable members, you recall that yesterday I highlighted the matter in my communication, and pursuant to Rule 52 of the Rules of Procedure, I will now invite the Minister of Presidency to present the statement on St. Janan Loom Day commemoration. Please, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and members. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable members, on Sunday, 16th February 2025, Uganda will celebrate the 48th commemoration of St. Janan Loom Day at Wigweng Muchun in Chitigum District. This is in honor of Janan Loom, the second Archbishop of Church of Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and Boga Zaire, who died in 1977, 40 years ago. His devotion and martyrdom was specially recognized by the Church of England, which is the mother church of the Anglican Communion. He was given a special place in the history of the Anglican Communion as one of the 10 martyrs of the 20th century. His Excellency, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, announced in 2015 that 16th February would be designated as St. Janan Loom Day, and the day was declared a public holiday. Consequently, every year we honor, celebrate, and provide thanksgiving for the life, testimony, and martyrdom of St. Janan Loom. The commemoration is organized annually by the government of Uganda in collaboration with the Church of Uganda and Janan Loom family. Right Honorable Speaker and members, it is important for Ugandans to note
that Archbishop Janan Lumu did not die alone. He died on 16th February 1977.
Are you reading the same document I have?
Yes, together with...
Was not killed alone.
Oh, killed. Oh, I was summarizing, Right Honorable Speaker. With the Minister of Internal Affairs, Honorable Charles Oboth Ofumbi, and the Inspector General of Police, Elinayo Oriema. This was under a fabricated case that they had conspired to overthrow the government. I would like us to recognize those two sons of Uganda who left a landmark in the history of our nation. Right Honorable Speaker, the theme for the 48th commemoration is imitating God's goodness by doing good. It is taken from the book of Galatians chapter 6 verses 9 to 10. And the expected outcome of the commemoration is that the congregation will desire to imitate God's goodness by doing good to others, such as helping those in need, being ethical, trustworthy, and serving their nation with patriotism. Right Honorable Speaker, the main commemoration event will be a church service at the late Archbishop Janan Lumu's burial ground at Wingweng, Muchuni Ceremonial Grounds in Chitugum District, followed by speeches, as usual. The chief guest is expected to be His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. The main celebrant will be the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu. While the guest preacher will be the Right Reverend Associate Professor Dr. Sheldon Mwesigwa, the Bishop of Ankole Diocese. Right Honorable Speaker, other commemoration activities which the Church of Uganda has organized will include evangelical missions within Chittagum Diocese to mobilize the believers. Furthermore, pilgrims will walk from Kampala, Lila, Gulu, and other areas up to Muchwin in affirmation of their faith. A football competition has been organized among the youth at archdeaconry level, and the finals will be played at Muchwin on Friday, 14th February 2025, tomorrow. And the winning team shall be given the trophy. On the night of 15th February 2025, there will be an open-air crusade of praise and worship consisting of groups from various parishes. Right Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I therefore invite you all Ugandans to attend the 48th commemoration of St. Janan Lumu Day on Sunday, 16th February 2025 at Wingweng, Muchuni in Chitugum District. The church, Muchuni, okay, thank you very much. The church service shall begin at 9 a.m. sharp. This is a national holiday, members, involving all stakeholders, including believers from all denominations, government, diplomatic corps, civil society, the media, the private sector, and the international community. Janan's martyrdom provides a powerful message of forgiveness and reconciliation among all believers in God. I therefore let us turn up in large numbers to honor, celebrate, and provide thanksgiving for this matter of the 20th century. For God and in my country, I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, honorable members. The minister's message is informative and self-explanatory. And one important thing is imitating God's goodness by doing good. Imitating God's goodness by doing good. And we need to learn forgiveness. That is what he has talked about. Thank you. And he's inviting all of you to go and celebrate and remember those who went to be with the Lord innocently. Next item.
Item 4 on the order paper. Review of the rules of procedure of Parliament. Committee of the whole House. Rule 54.
Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, the committee does proposal that Rule 54 is amended. 1, by substituting for the head note the following: matters of urgent public importance. 2, by substituting for sub-rule 1 the following: a member who desires to raise a matter of urgent public importance shall, with the leave of the Speaker, raise the matter. 3, by inserting immediately after sub-rule 1 the following: 1A, in determining whether a matter should have urgent consideration, the Speaker shall ensure that the matter, A, relates to a genuine emergency, calling for immediate and urgent consideration to warrant taking precedence over other business on the order paper, and B, has stimulated public concern or interest. 1B, a statement made by a member under sub-rule 1 shall be non-controversial on a matter of public importance or an emergency and shall not take more than 5 minutes of the House's time. 1C, the Speaker may order the member to resume his or her seat if, in the opinion of the Speaker, the member is not raising a matter of urgent public importance under sub-rule 1. 4, in sub-rule 2, by deleting the words shall be presented on Thursday and. This is the justification, Honorable Chair and colleagues. 1, to harmonize the head note with the content of the rule. 2, to streamline the procedure for raising matters of urgent public importance. 3, to require notification of the Speaker prior to raising a matter of national importance for purposes of ensuring orderly transaction of business in the House. 4, to ensure that Rule 25 sub-rules 3 and 4 on matters of urgent public importance are properly placed under Rule 54. And 5, to remove the restriction on the presentation of a statement by a member to Thursdays only. I beg to move.
Aisha.
No objection, Right Honorable Chair.
Thank you. I have seen the General Mujira. You have something to.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker. On this Rule 54, the stated justification for amendment of the rule inter alia is to harmonize the head note with the content of the rule. In line with that said justification, I would propose, and for consistency, I wish to propose that this 1A reads, in determining whether a matter is of urgent public importance, not should have urgent consideration. That will be in line with the head note, with the justification, and for consistency.
That I immediately concede.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes,
Madam Chair, there's something missing, and the Chair can guide us on this. You see, a matter of urgent importance, procedurally we have to meet the Speaker, and the Speaker will determine whether that matter is of urgent importance. That's why, while there, normally the Speaker calls the Minister to appear. But what is missing in this amendment is that a member meets the Speaker, brings a matter of urgent importance to the Speaker, but when he comes on the floor, he changes what he raised to the Speaker to something else. I think that's what should be reflected in this amendment. Otherwise, once the Speaker determines that Sewungu's matter is of urgent importance, because it's within the realms of the Speaker to determine. So if Sewungu comes on the floor and brings something outside what the Speaker was informed, that's what the amendment should bear. Otherwise, what I'm seeing here is quite very different. So, Mr. Chairman, could you kindly guide us on that? And that amendment should be fully reflected on the amendment. And I want to educate the honourable member, there's nothing wrong in pocketing in this house. It's my style of speaking, not from Chivanda, where you come from.
Chair,
Honorable Chair.
Yes.
After amending Rule 54, does that mean we are deleting 49? Rule 49, notice of urgent questions.
Right Honourable Speaker, 49 is a different matter. It's a question. Whereas matters of urgent public importance is a wider one. This one restricts to questions.
Yes.
The requirement that a person goes to the Speaker before he or she raises this matter was built on the presumption that we believe and we trust that the Speaker exercises good judgment to know that this is an urgent matter, that it fits within the rules. So, Madam Chair, I would propose that because we trusted the Speaker, we don't again go on specifying what should be in that in the matter to be raised. Two, Right Honourable Chair, is about the fact that we are restricting this to Thursday.
No, we are not. We are not.
Then I withdraw that.
Can you check Rule 49.3? 49.3.
The Speaker shall determine the admissibility of a question in accordance with Rule 44. So, I wanted to support Honorable Sewungu to say that, Madam Speaker, we leave this to the Speaker. Once the Speaker is certified that this is a matter of national importance, then that it is very urgent in nature, then that person should not be restricted.
Read 3 and 4. Read 4 too. Read 4 also.
49?
Yes.
A question without notes shall only be asked with the prior leave of the Speaker.
49.4.
49.4, where the Speaker is of the opinion that any question which a member has sought leave to ask without notes infringes any of the conditions set out in this rule, the Speaker may direct that it be printed or asked with such alterations as the Speaker shall direct, or that it be returned to the member concerned as being inadmissible.
Thank you.
Chair. Madam Chair.
Chair, to Honorable Sewungu and Honorable Nambozi. Number one, you cannot access the floor unless with the leave of the Speaker. Number two, if you looked at C gives the Speaker the discretionary right to judge
your matter, whether it's of
Urgent
urgent importance or
importance.
not. And in case it doesn't see, says the speaker will ask you to resume your seat. So all they are arguing for is being taken care of
Thank
in
you.
the
Thank you.
amendment.
Doctor?
Thank you very much.
Chair, we are trying to help the presiding officer determine what criteria does she use to determine
She or he.
to determine that this is a matter of genuine emergence, immediate and urgent consideration to warrant this. So we are helping he or she to take a decision in accordance with the rules.
Madam Chair, I was given the floor. Honorable
Doctor.
Sewungu, please resume your seat. I was given the floor. Thank you very much, Chair. My concern on this rule is about the mode of communication to the presiding officer about this matter of urgent public importance. You may find some people could be abroad or unable to be within the precincts of the parliament, yet a matter of public urgent public importance has occurred. Would we admit that a telephone call or an SMS or a WhatsApp communication to the presiding officer about such a matter would also suffice? Because you may not be physically present within the precincts of parliament in order to bring this matter to the attention of the presiding officer.
Honorable Baiga Lume, Doctor, that is administrative. Real administrative. In most cases you've called, they have this problem. And we handle, we put it on the order paper, and we discuss it, we bring it as a communication. So that is administrative. Yes, Jessica, Manuel.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair, for the opportunity. My concern is on 1B. Let me read it verbatim. Has stimulated public concern or interest. Honorable Chair and members, I believe that is catered for under A, because if it is an emergency calling for an urgent action, probably B will have been catered for in A, because if it is not of emergency, then it will not be considered. So I feel B is redundant. Thank you.
Chair, something may be urgent but not of public importance. So B is very relevant.
I was going to give an example, but I'm restrained to give an example.
Chair.
I put a question that Rule 54.
Chair.
Before you put that question.
Okay, Emmanuel.
Thank you, Chair. I want to come back to the point my colleague, Honorable Sewungu, stated. I think the point is, let the determination by the presiding officer be done from his or her office, so that when the same issue is now being raised here, instead of embarrassing somebody by saying sit down when actually the person is raising something that the presiding officer has already accepted from the office, let the embarrassment not come on the floor. Let it be determined from there, and if somebody is being allowed to present from the floor, then let it flow, unless this person is now presenting something else. That is the point I wanted to bring here.
Chair, 1A, a member who desires to raise a matter of urgent public importance shall, with the leave of the speaker. So whether it is done in the office, on phone call, or where, you find your way of seeking leave.
Honorable members, I put a question that Rule 54 be amended as proposed, and further amendment by Honorable Mujira Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Rule 59.
59.
Madam Chair, the committee proposes that Rule 59 is amended in Sub-Rule 1, paragraph M, by substituting for the word question the word point. Justification: this is a consequential amendment intended to align the rule with Rule 78 that provides for point of privilege.
Aisha?
No objection.
I put a question that Rule 59 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Rule 60.
60.
Right Honourable Chair, Rule 60, we do propose to amend by inserting immediately after Sub-Rule 1 the following. The motion or amendment under Sub-Rule 1 shall be seconded by at least 2 members, and the Speaker shall mention the name or constituency of each seconder. Justification: to ensure that the names of members that second the motion are put on record.
I
agree.
I put a question that Rule 60 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary. Eh? No, I haven't put a...
I agree with the amendment. I just seek clarification. What if more than one member stand?
At least, you know, in the case of, there was a case we had here, you know, on Tojikwatako, where members stood up and they said it was seconded. But in that secondment, there was no mention of names. But at least mention 2 names, then you can mention the rest, and then you can say it is seconded. So I think they are trying to cure what the court raised at that time. I put a question that Rule 60 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Rule 61.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable
61.
Chair. Rule 61, we do propose an amendment in Sub-Rule 3 by substituting for the word shall the word may. Justification: to make the requirement for remover to put an amendment in writing discretionary.
Aisha?
I agree.
I put a question that Rule 61 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Rule 64.
I wasn't on the record. Madam Chair, Rule 64 is amended in Sub-Rule 4, paragraph E, by substituting for the word
question to the
by
word
the
point.
word question, the word point. This is a consequential amendment intended to align the rule with Rule 78 that provides for a point of privilege.
Aisha?
No objection.
I put a question that Rule 64 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Rule 70.
Madam Chair, Rule 70, we do propose this amendment by substituting for Sub-Rule 11 the following. A member shall not speak for more than 5 minutes in a debate or on any matter before the House, by inserting immediately after Sub-Rule 11 the following. Notwithstanding Sub-Rule 11, the Speaker may, at the commencement of or any time during the proceedings of the House, announce the time limit he or she is to allow each member contributing to a debate on any matter before the House, and may direct a member who has spoken for the period given to take his or her seat. Justification: to expressly provide for a time limit for the debate and then the discretion of the presiding officer.
Yes, Christine, then AG.
Yes, Chair. I'm requesting that then we provide for also the minimum time, if we have provided for the maximum of 5 minutes. Here. And I'm proposing 2 minutes.
Chair, Right Honourable Speaker, the proposed amendment may be welcome, but it puts a cap. It restricts the Speaker, assuming I was making a submission and I'm cut off by time, the Speaker is not at liberty to give me extra time. Yes.
The Speaker.
Yes.
No, the Speaker has the time.
No, the rule has taken away that. Which I think is not right.
That is where?
Rule 70.
Sub-rule 11. A member shall not speak for more than 5 minutes in a debate in any matter before the House. You get it, eh?
Speaker.
Just a minute. By inserting immediately after sub-rule 11 the following, notwithstanding sub-rule 11, the Speaker may, at the commencement of or any time during the proceedings of the House, announce the time limit he or she is allowed to speak. He or she is allow each member contributing the debate on the matter before the House, and may direct the member who has spoken for a period given to take his seat or her seat.
Right Honourable Speaker, it means the presiding officer's authority is limited to the time given. You cannot give extra time in the event of need.
No. Why don't I explain first? Because you seem like you are misconstruing the amendment proposed. No, I need the attention. You see, we are getting a standard time of speech, and that's 5 minutes. Such that every member of parliament knows that when I'm going to the floor, my time is 5 minutes maximum. However, the sub-rule, the second sub-rule, the rider is, first of all, he's saying, notwithstanding sub-rule 11 or 5 minutes, meaning it is making sub-rule 2, sorry, sub-rule 1 inferior. The one of what? Of 5 minutes. It is being made inferior to the circumstances and the Speaker's discretion.
Honorable.
And it says, now let me explain.
Honorable Betty, please sit and. Oh, yeah.
But sometimes it's better we listen to each other such that we understand the basis, then you can make the interjections. And it says, notwithstanding sub-rule 11, meaning the rule which is providing for the 5 minutes. The Speaker may, at the commencement of or any time during the proceeding of the House, announce the time limit he or she is to allow each member contributing.
Honorable Katuntu, in the original rules, 11 already caters for both. Why are you introducing 12?
Thank you, Chair. I'm seeking, I need my senior colleague Katuntu to understand me. The first amendment requires the Speaker to set the time limit of 5 minutes. That we have agreed upon. The second amendment envisages a time, let's say, like we were having year elections, and the place was flooded. Then the speaker...
AG, we have not yet agreed upon because I have not put a question.
Yes, that's why I'm debating.
You're saying that it has been agreed upon.
No.
We have not yet
myself,
agreed. Okay.
Yes, I'm agreeable on the first amendment of 5 minutes. The second amendment, that you find when the parliament is full to the brim, and 5 minutes are not practicable, okay? So this rule says, notwithstanding the proviso for 5 minutes, the speaker may make adjustments and say today it will be 2 minutes, okay? But I'm envisaging a time when Honorable Katuntu, you are submitting and you run out of your 5 minutes, but what you are submitting is essential to us all, and it would be important for you to go on and conclude. Yes. This amendment takes away the power of the speaker to say, Kafuzi, you can continue for 2 more minutes.
Honorable Chair, with due respect, I told you not to touch the powers of a speaker. So that rule is not going to be amended. Next rule.
Chair.
Next rule.
Chair.
Next. I put a question.
Can I make a submission?
Hajat, just hold on.
May I make a submission on that?
Hold
Chair?
on, Hajat.
Chair, before your question, if you may allow me, the rationale behind this amendment was to cure, maybe we didn't put it right, but the House can now adopt otherwise. The rationale was to cure the problem of a 1 minute, 2 minute talk where you are cut off before you have even explained exhaustively what needs to be understood. That was the intention. The intention wasn't to limit the speaker or to give the upper ceiling.
Honorable members, let me put a question. Let me put a question. First of all, it is at the discretion of the speaker. You always get, when we are starting a debate, I tell my team 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I cannot stop a lob when he has something very important to present, and I give him 2 minutes. I cannot stop this side when the Prime Minister is presenting, and I give her 5 minutes. Meaning, you're trying to tie the hands of the speaker. I put a question that Rule 70 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The nays have it.
Rule 72. Rule 72.
72.
Yeah, I'm going to Rule 72, but at the appropriate time, I'll have that provision recommitted.
72. 72.
Rule 72
what did
is
you want
amended.
to debate upon?
Rule 72 is amended by substituting or sub-rule 2 the
you
following.
first listen to him, then you bring up. Yes.
The conduct of the speaker, members, the Chief Justice and judges of the course of judicature shall not be raised except upon a substantive motion. By inserting immediately after...
Honorable Chair, why can't you say members of parliament?
Members have been defined already.
Okay.
The members of parliament.
Okay.
By substitute for the following: the conduct of the speaker, members, the Chief Justice, and judges of the course of judicature shall not be raised except upon a substantive motion. By inserting immediately after sub-rule 2 the following: a member shall not impute improper motive to the president or the name of the president to influence debate. It is out of order to make reference to the conduct of the president, speaker, members, Chief Justice, judges of the courts of judicature in an amendment question to a member or remarks in a debate on a motion dealing with any other subject. It is out of order to impute improper motive to the president or use the name of the president to influence debate. And this is the justification. To have the provision clear and concise, to bar imputation of improper motive on the president and use of the president's name to influence debate. I need to emphasize that this first part of the categories of people or offices is already in our rules. That one is concerning the speaker, members, chief justice, and judges of judicature. What we've added is that of the president, because the others are already provided for in the current rules. I beg to move.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, Bugabula.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the Chair has said the issue of judges and so on is already provided for. We had the issue of the Speaker and the Chief Justice. By now, the issue of judges, Right Honourable Madam Chair, is going to cause issues here that we can't talk about them before we come to seek permission from your office. There are situations and cases where you don't need to first come. I have to raise an issue when there is something that is not right with the judge. But now, the chair has brought in a situation that the judges have also now become big issues in this house that we can't talk about them.
Honorable Bugabula, first of all, you know very well in our rules, you cannot discuss about a person who is not in this house. So how will you talk about them? You shouldn't. Yes, Chair. I'm Aisha.
Chair, I lost argument because all the other officers were exempted by law except the president. And the issue is that if other people need a motion, why not the president? So I did not depart from the majority report.
I put a question that Rule 70.
Honourable Speaker, I'm a bit constrained by this. Because sometimes the head of state could be at functions, issues directives, as an example, which directives are meant to be implemented, acted upon. And as Parliament, we could seek clarity from the Minister for Presidency, for example, who I see here. It's good to see you, Honourable Minister. I don't think that's a bad thing, because you see here we are saying it is out of order to impute improper motive to the President or use the name of the President to influence debate. When I ask for clarity about a directive, one would say I am influencing debate. That's not a bad thing, because ultimately, Right Honourable Speaker, usage of whether it be language or improper motive about anybody, by the way, the buck stops with you to call a member to order. But now I see when we put this within our rules to say we cannot even use the name of the president to influence debate, debate is not a bad thing. Because debate would be clarifying something. Would be seeking, because you see the president is represented here by the executive, beginning with the vice president, who is rarely here, the prime minister, the leader of government business. I think it's okay to at times say the head of state said this, or maybe a policy direction. Could you clarify? Now, if we pass this, then I'm not even allowed to raise that issue. But ultimately, if any of us in this house raises anything against anyone, whether it be in this house or outside of this house, that is outside the law, that is improper, Right Honourable Speaker, you have got the prerogative. The rules allow you to call someone to order. So I think we should not limit this.
And what do you mean by the word to influence? What do you mean by the word to influence?
You know, when you say Rule 72, contents of a speech. 72.2. The conduct of a speaker, members, the Chief Justice, and judges of the courts of judicature shall not be raised. Shall not be raised, except under a substantive motion, and in any amendment, questions to members, or remarks in a debate on a motion dealing with any other subject, any reference and conduct of persons mentioned is out of order. Now, all other heads are catered for. The first to be catered for should be the president. The first to be catered for is the president. Yes. Yes, Haj.
What is the current situation as the rules are now? Let us read the rules as they are. 1. Rule 72, sub-rule 2. The conduct, and listen this, the conduct of the Speaker, members, the Chief Justice, and judges of the courts of judicature shall not be raised except upon a substantive motion. So there are two operating words here. 1, what is being bad here is conduct. Conduct. Then 2, there is a proviso that actually the conduct can be raised, but only on a substantive motion. That's what the rules provide. So it is not that we are barring completely discussion of a conduct of these officers. And what we are doing additionally, right, Chair, is to add on the office of the Fountain of Honor on this. Okay, can we also have proper conduct also? So this is what it is. Now, so the issue is not that the rules are barring the discussion of the conduct, but it can only come on a substantive motion.
AG.
Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, with all due respect to my senior colleague, if you read the first proposal for amendment, it says the conduct of the Speaker, members of Parliament, the conduct of the Speaker, members, the Chief Justice, and judges of judges of the courts of judicature shall not be raised, blah, blah, blah.
Except
I want to propose that in this very lineup, we add the president.
Yes, that's okay.
Then it will have catered for all the rest.
That what the learned Attorney General is proposing, that the rule states as it is, only to add on the office of the president.
Yes.
Is that your proposal?
Yes.
Would my minority member have an objection? Would you have an objection? The majority and the minority have no objection to that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'm seeking clarification from the chair of the committee whether he has given a provision that in a situation where we have to present a substantive motion against the conduct of any other person, including the speaker, and the speaker doesn't honor the motion, where do I run to?
You can go to court.
Chair.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members, I put a question that Rule 70 to be amended as proposed by the Deputy Attorney General. Those in favor, by the committee and amended by the Attorney General. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Now get out.
Rule 73.
Rule 73, the committee proposes that it is amended in sub-rule 2.
There is a procedure matter from Bukunja.
Yeah. Madam Chair.
You first cool down. Now you're smiling. You can talk.
Madam Chair, I thought that since we are amending these rules and they take some time, we needed to reflect a lot on some of those issues that we want these rules to cure. And I wanted to bring to your attention something that had taken me to the Rules Committee, and I am mentioned as one of the people who had a dean memoranda, and I had discussed with the chair on how to bring this matter to your attention. The matter concerns the acceptance of people, members to speak, to access, to have your attention in speaking. Because this is a democratic space where majorities and minorities are present. And I had a feeling that I needed to have an amendment to the rules to ensure that all shades of opinion in this parliament be heard on a subject matter under debate, so that it is the speaker ensures purposely. I wanted to get the attention of the speaker. Yes, on Rule 70. That is why I wanted to raise this procedural matter on Rule 70, which we are surpassing. Yet I had recommended a Part C, that subject to sub-rule B above, the Speaker shall ensure that the position of all shades of opinion represented in Parliament as are heard on any subject matter under debate. Justification was that Parliament is a democratic space in which the majority and minority coexist and in which all positions need to be heard. That's what I wanted to bring to your attention, Madam Chairperson.
Chair, indeed the member was entertained in the committee and his opinion was heard and considered, but the committee was of the view that once we're in Parliament, we cease to look at ourselves as people coming from our respective parties, but we have the people in government and the people in opposition. The proposal of the colleague is that the speaker would call, can we hear from DP, can we hear from FDC, can we from, that's his proposal, but we thought that once we are here, we would hear from opposition and the ruling party.
Honorable members, Rule 70, time and manner of speaking. A member desiring to speak shall, in the case of a member physically present in the chamber, raise and face the chair of the speaker, or in the case of a member virtually present in the house, raise his hand or her hands up, and shall not speak until he or she catches the eyes of the speaker. Now, honorable members, you want me to start saying, nope, we have shades of opinion. Shades of opinion, there is opposition, ruling party, PWDs, military, independent, youth, elderly, women, honor. And if they have not stood up to catch my eye, you get it, eh? Is there any time that we don't pick a person and we remain without nobody talking? There's no time that you don't. Maybe let's hear from the chairman where he didn't make. No, just a minute.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair, we address our mind to the proposal by the Honorable Dr. Lulu. Unfortunately, we couldn't agree with him. The only two sides reflected, either in the Constitution or in the Administration of Parliamentary Act or even in our rules. That is both sides of the House. No, you see, this thing called independent, we should also, every independent here, I am one, but I'm independent from another independent person. We are not in any lump together, only that we came on individual merit. So the only two sides. So we didn't appreciate the point raised by the honor. Like, I think these rules sufficiently cover everybody interested, and there is no mischief intended to be cured by that proposal.
Madam Chair.
I said you don't access a microphone before I give it to you. Can we first go to the next rule?
Rule 73.
Did we put the question? Okay, ma. Did you put the question?
Yes, I did on AG.
Rule 73. Right Honorable Chair, it's the proposal of the committee that Rule 73 is amended in sub-rules 2 and 5 by inserting the phrase of chairperson of a committee immediately after the word speaker. Justification. To empower chairpersons of the committees to determine matters of sub judice that arises in their respective committees. Because when a matter is sub judice and there is a presiding chairperson, he should be able to determine it, not to adjourn the committee, then you run to the office of the speaker, or you write the speaker until you get a reply. And there is also another process in case somebody is dissatisfied with the decision of the chair.
Because the chair has delegated powers, and the chairman should actually not wait for the speaker to determine whether it is sub judice. So you should be able to act other than saying, let me wait for the speaker. AG, is that okay with you? Aisha, you okay?
I agree.
There was consensus.
I put a question that Rule 73 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Rule 78.
Madam Chair, Rule 78 is substituted for the following: interruption of debate. 1. Debate may be interrupted, 1A, by a member of privilege suddenly arising, by a point of order,
by a matter of
privilege suddenly arising, by a point of order being raised, upon a point of information, elucidation, or clarification, and D, upon a point of procedure. When giving leave to interrupt the debate, the speaker shall follow the following precedents: points of privilege, points of procedure, points of order, points of information, elucidation, or clarification. A member who stands up to interrupt the debate on a point of privilege, procedure, order, information, elucidation, or clarification shall not depart from that point.
And you should also mention the rule.
I'm continuing. Insertion of new rules. The rules.
Let's finish this one first.
No, it is just coming at the end because this one is it all concerns rule.
No, that's
78.
a new rule. That's a new rule.
Okay. It's all concerns rule 78. So I want to go through first the whole of it. Yeah, but we are particularizing it.
That's 78A.
To appreciate it, you need for me to complete. That's when, because members are going to jump on this without knowing what is amended. Right.
We shall put 2 questions on 78 and then on the new rule.
Okay. And there's a reason. You see, Right Honourable Speaker, if we pass this one and the House has a problem with the subscript one, when you've already passed this, what happens?
Okay, okay. You read, then we shall put 2 questions.
Because you have already passed it. I was just trying
you go through, then we shall put 2 questions.
Yes. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Insertion of new rules. The rules are amended by inserting immediately after Rule 78 the following. A matter may arise, that's 78A1, A is capital. A member may raise a point of privilege during debate where a breach of privilege suddenly arises. 2. Where a member raises a point of privilege, the Speaker shall make a ruling on the point of privilege. 3. The Speaker shall, in making a ruling under Sub-Rule 2, have regard to the provisions of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act. 4. Notwithstanding Sub-Rule 2, the Speaker may refer the matter raised on the point of privilege to the Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline. 78B. Point of order. A member may raise a point of order on unparliamentary language being used by another member or on any matter of unparliamentary conduct by another member immediately the unparliamentary language is used or the unparliamentary conduct arises. 2. Where a member rises on a point of order, the member holding the floor shall immediately resume his or her seat. 3. Where the point of order has been raised under Sub-Rule 2, no other member shall, except with the leave of the Speaker, rise until the Speaker has decided on the matter. 4. Where a member interrupts debate on a point of order, the member shall cite the rule of procedure he or she deems to have been breached by a member before subjecting the member to the Speaker's ruling. 78C. Point of information, elucidation, and clarification. A member may rise on a point of information, elucidation, or clarification based on a matter raised by a member holding the floor, and may only proceed with the point if the member holding the floor is unwilling to take the point of information, elucidation, or clarification and resume his or her seat. 2. Where a minister is holding the floor and a point of information, elucidation, or clarification is raised, the minister shall not reject the point of information, elucidation, or clarification more than 3 times. 78D. Point of procedure. A member may raise a point of procedure where a breach of rules arises. And members, take a note of this because this is a fundamental departure from the current status. And I repeat, a member may raise on a point of procedure where a breach of rules arises. Where a member raises on a point of procedure, the member holding the floor shall immediately resume his or her seat. Where the point of procedure has been raised under Sub-Rule 2, no other member shall, except with the leave of the Speaker, rise until the Speaker has decided on the matter. 4. Where a member interrupts debate on a point of procedure, The member shall state the rule of procedure he or she deems to have been breached by the member holding the floor, or on the procedure matter he or she wishes to be ruled upon before the presiding officer makes a ruling. Justification. To clarify when a point of privilege, order, procedure, and information, elucidation, or clarification may be raised. What has been happening, colleagues? Members use point of procedure really to call the presiding office. They rise up point of procedure and they go into substantive debate when there is nothing procedural at all. So we are now trying to redefine. If you are to sign up on a point of procedure, please be on a point of procedure and state the exact rule. Other than point of procedure and then you go on another tangent. That's what we are seeking to clarify, Madam Chair.
Madam Speaker, you know we are discussing and we are amending.
Honourable members, you've heard Rule
Madam Speaker.
78.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, Alex. Yes.
Madam Speaker, we are just making the rules, honorable colleagues.
But
Madam Speaker, the way I see we running, leadership is politics. And leadership being politics, to be limited and tied not to talk by quoting every rule that every person should say, it is really trying to jeopardize.
I thought that is one of the documents that is given to you when you're being sworn in. So you ought to be knowledgeable of what role you're standing to debate
Right,
upon.
Madam Speaker, but the way the committee is bringing it is really tying our hands so that we don't have freedom of speech in the House.
You know, we need discipline in the House, decorum. Yes, Alex, then Doug.
Right Honorable Speaker, Chair, and colleagues, I am constrained also almost to go along what a colleague was talking about. You know, in legislation, colleagues, some lacunas are deliberate. It's a principle in legislation. Once you make the law, and this law is too stiff, the chances of breaking that law are very many. That's why they insist on having a malleable law, malleability, malleable, soft, so that the Speaker has a latitude to make a ruling, so that even a member feels free to make a contribution. And I think that's what I think we should be looking at. Let's not make very difficult and stiff regulations that might be misconstrued to gag members' freedom to debate.
AJ.
Madam Chair, stringent as these rules may appear, the Speaker, the presiding officer, is still at liberty to say you can speak, because she's the custodian of the rules. But these rules are placed there so that we do not abuse the process. But, Right Honourable Speaker, while I agree with the proposals, there is only one that I wish to raise a concern on. 78C2. The proposal in 78C2. It says where a minister is holding the floor and a point of information, elucidation, clarification is raised, the member shall not reject the point of information, elucidation. The minister shall not reject the point of information, elucidation, clarification more than 3 times. Now, that may be okay. My worry is...
Maybe you could put in succession.
Pardon?
In succession.
Yeah,
Successive.
Okay, 3 successive times.
Yes.
Yes, but you see, my fear in this, Right Honourable Speaker, even if you put the word successive to correct it, members can deliberately decide that this minister will not speak. Yes, because if I stand, Right Honourable Speaker, Right Honourable Speaker, I need your attention on this.
Yes.
Members can conspire and say, we will not hear him out. When you speak, Naruyima says information, Lope says, I'm giving an example, elucidation, and you cannot say, so you sit down. After that, you get back, they will raise it again. Okay? So, Right Honourable Speaker, I want us to be cautious. This rule, it may fail a minister from presenting whatever intends to present.
Honourable
Chair.
Yes, Honourable Aisha, then
Thank
Honourable
you.
Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Number one, to honourable colleagues, these provisions are actually giving us opportunity to interrupt debate, so they are not very stringent. The point that the Attorney General is very worried about is actually to hold Parliament, because the practice of some ministers has been that they will come to read statement, you ask for clarification, one will keep quiet as if he's not hearing, he will read the statement to the end and sit down. There are circumstances where members of Parliament need to be clarified on the information that the minister is giving. So that's why the provision here is saying, yes, you can decline to accept 1, 2, 3, but at least after 3, have sought, and 3 from different members, not the same member Aisha standing and say, information. If you've declined at least 3, give way for people to ask for information and clarification. It's a good thing for Parliament to be informed of what the executive is doing.
Just
Thank
hold
you.
on.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to support the position of the committee on that entire. First of all, this House, we have seen that members abuse all these points of order, procedure. Someone says procedure and they're talking about the goats somewhere. And I think the amendments are curing that. People say point of order and they go on to debate. This is curing that. Right Honourable Speaker, we all swear by these rules when we come here. There's nothing stringent about the amendments. We need to keep our house in order. Sometimes this house looks like a marketplace because people are saying order, procedure, and it has nothing to do with procedure. So, Right Honourable Speaker, I support that we have stringent, because you are the custodian of the rules. If you think that I need more time to speak about something, you will allow me or another member to speak. But we can't want to water down the very rules that we swear upon when we come to this Parliament. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honourable members, we are talking about an orderly house, which will be productive. And that's why we are bringing these rules. And I want to make a clarification on Rule 72.2. Some people are thinking that we are infringing on the immunity, the privileges and immunity of the president. That is not correct under the Constitution. That is not correct. The precondition for the substantive motion is to ensure that there is compliance with the Constitution and any other laws of the land. We only are saying that the president should not be discussed about unless you bring a substantive motion. Honourable Kibal, have you heard? Okay.
Madam,
yes, Honourable
Madam
Minister. Honorable Minister, then
Well, first of all,
come and sit here.
Madam Speaker, I would like to thank you and colleagues, Madam Chair and all colleagues. I want also to try to speak to 78.2. Honorable colleagues, at one time you will be where we are, and at one time we might be where you are. So I want first to say this. When we come here on behalf of government, specifically to address a subject matter which in my considered opinion has been directed by this august House with the rich knowledge of information. There's a reason why I'm bringing this context. Number two, it is also true that sometimes you would like to seek for information, clarification from my presentation. I want to implore us, like the Deputy Attorney General did say, it is also true sometimes you can afford and you can afford to deliberately deny me space to address you. So I want to say this, that the question of information, first I want to go back to the main principle. What's wrong with the current existing rule of procedure which we have been having?
Honorable members.
Because it should be
Honorable members,
at my discretion.
Honorable members, let the minister finish.
It should be at the discretion of a member holding the floor.
Of the speaker.
Of the speaker holding the floor to ask.
No, the speaker.
Okay, the speaker, the chair, and the member holding the floor to give you permission, to give in information, clarification, where applicable. But for us now to begin saying we have 3 times, Honorable Chivumbi is my good friend and many others there. They can afford deliberate to say the subject matter Ogwang is coming to present on behalf of the Minister of Education, in my considered opinion, should not be listened to, entertained, and you can afford to frustrate it. So, Madam Speaker and Madam Chair, I really want to beg the August House that please, we come here for a purpose on behalf of government to give government business. I want to plead with you, let's maintain the existing rule as it is. I thank you.
Honorable members, what was in contention was on the issue of the minister. 3 times. You get it, eh? On 3 times. A minister on clarification, elucidation, consequent 3 times, the consecutive 3 times, the minister should be able to allow a clarification. Why don't you leave that to discretion of the speaker? Yes, leave it to the leave that to the discretion of the speaker. Why are you, honorable members? Why are you over reducing the powers of the speaker?
Right, honorable chair. Right, honorable chair. The current situation, can I be heard? The current situation is that it is the discretion of the minister holding floor. And what they have done, they have consistent, some, not all of them.
In most cases, you've seen the speaker saying, Minister, please clarify. Clarify, take the information. In most cases. Yes. Yes. I remove that part. Dagger. Edit. I mean, reframe.
Right, Honorable, we are proposing to say this proviso notwithstanding, okay, the minister shall, okay, I may not word it properly, but the minister shall be required to yield once.
But you people, is there somebody chairing this house? Is there somebody chairing this house?
Yes.
The speaker is chairing this house.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Chair.
Even if somebody rose up on a point of information, it is a speaker to allow. So why are you pushing the whole burden to the minister? Daudi, you want to say something? Honorable Minister. Internal Affairs.
Okay.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to move in unison so that we avoid an orchestrated or deliberate effort to frustrate a minister. What if the 3 times is repeated? Should we now rest in the solace of the speaker intervening? Or we need some express provision, a proviso of sorts to say, provided the repeated interruptions don't go beyond a certain point, maybe something like that.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Yes.
Chair, you know, rules are there to help us get away from reliance of the presiding officer's mood. Sometimes the presiding officer's mood could be that the person should not give way. I pray, Chair, and I beg your indulgence that you don't misunderstand me. I pray that you allow us have a role that will protect members from reliance on the speaker's mood, so that we have a role for the ministers to give way, to give us information because
Honorable
the information is
Aisha,
necessary.
Honorable Aisha, the speaker's role here is to protect all members and ensure that there is harmony and orderly in the house. Yes, and when we are doing that, we are doing it for the good of Ugandans out there. This, yes.
Right, Honourable Speaker, every time we are making a law, including our own rules, it's because there is a mischief we are intending to cure.
What are we curing now?
Now here, in cases where a minister has refused to yield, the speaker has already said, please yield. So what is the mischief that we are trying to cure?
Can I answer that? Madam Chair, the minister is holding an office in trust. It's not about him as an individual. So when a member is seeking clarification, the speaker doesn't know what clarification is to the member who knows the clarification.
Who gives the member permission to speak?
The presiding officer does, but not until you have put the clarification. You only stand up and say clarification. And that's the only judgment you have to use. But the substance of the clarification is the member raising it, who knows? So if you just stop him without you as a presiding officer even knowing, that's what they put you in a difficult position. Because, Right Honourable Speaker, let me make my point. Right Honourable Speaker, this has nothing to do with the presiding officer's powers. Why? When a member stands up on a point of clarification, he does not go ahead until the speaker has given him the audience. You will not hear the clarification, you as a minister, until it has been put on the floor. But if you consistently say, no, no, and somebody is seeking clarification, because they are not asking about the Honorable Kafos, they are talking about clarification from the Attorney General.
Honorable members, I don't see anything we are curing. In the circumstance that a rule is not provided for, we shall apply Rule 8. So can we have that part of...
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Hassan, after
thank
that,
you,
Hassan.
Madam Chair. I think whatever we're discussing about, anything touching the powers of the Speaker should be disregarded. Yes. Madam Chair?
Yes, I'm listening.
Any discussion regarding the powers of the Speaker should be disregarded, because the Speaker must maintain the power he or she holds. No. I'm being honest. Because we shall not cure
I
anything.
have not given you to talk. Chair, I have not given you to talk. Sit.
Thank you, Right Honorable
Thank you. Haji.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable members, let's listen. Not Haji Noah, but Haji Hassan.
Madam Chair, the fact that the front bench is worried about the insertion of that particular rule is problematic in itself. Points of clarification and elucidations rise because members want the minister to clarify on that particular matter. Now, deleting it and shying away from it means that we are leaving the members out of debate that is happening at that particular time in the House. Madam Chair, we know we legislate for our people, and rules are rules. We have to respect rules, else we are savages. So my application on that rule, Madam Chair, is to allow the chair proceed with the rule the way it is, because it's going to allow the members to come in that particular debate. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We've been making rules in good faith. Ever since we started amending rules, we've been amending them in good faith. But when you look at this sub-rule, the ministers are saying, no, let's remove it. The other side are saying, let it remain. Why don't we delete this so that we keep what we have been using as Parliament? Because we have to amend these rules in good faith so that we maintain the good faith. Thank you.
Yes, Itungo, then Moses. Honorable members, if you raise up and then Santa, from Oeshichiba, order, how can you two men come in front of the speaker?
Madam Chair, the chair is in the meeting, but okay, I want to bring to your attention Rule 70, which you have just read, and specifically the last paragraph. The last paragraph we are saying that a member shall not speak until he or she catches the speaker's eye. Now, if the rule is already there, why do you want a person to raise a point of information or procedure without the eye of the speaker? So,
no. Can I give information?
Chair, you need different views on this.
Moses.
He has
Madam Chair, looking at that rule, for me, I think I would not have a problem. But where the problem arises is the 3 times. My question now, 3 times by who? By an individual member who is standing to ask for clarification, or for members or the three members?
3 times. 3 times, yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I wanted to seek clarification again, maybe from the Attorney General or the Chair, because what if members conspire, like 10 of them or 20, from either side, the opposition or NRM side, and they are deliberately doing that to fail a minister? Because the rules here dictate that maybe, unless the speaker is not allowed, but after the minister's presentation, members will debate. What if something that you have not, the minister has not brought out well, you note it down and you bring it out in the debate? Without because many members are going to conspire here, order 20 of them, and you fail the minister. Can't we do
Madam
that
Chair.
in a debate?
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Mpuga.
Macho Black, Right Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, we first of all take exception to the submission of the Honorable Ngopek, who was trying to incite the Speaker by way of his submission, that the Speaker can reject members' submission on this subject matter. But that said, tongue in cheek, we are trying to do 2 things, Right Honorable Speaker, with this amendment. One is to May I proceed, Right Honorable Speaker and Chair? Thank you. I was trying to say that we are trying to deal with 2 principal issues here. One, access to the microphone and the power of legislation. 2, the doctrine of separation of powers. This is a space for members to legislate and represent their constituencies. And for the ministers, it's space for accountability. And therefore, the amendment, if I understood the chairperson well and the committee's intentions, is to try and cement the power of members to demand for accountability from ministers, and therefore there should be no denial. We have been here, and ministers are denying clarification, and then they take leave and even take flight. Chair. And when that happens, you constrain the whole intention of legislation and representation. The Speaker, under the rules, will be at latitude to even say, I have ordered that this matter takes leave. That power cannot be taken away from the Speaker by this rule. That's why I took exception to the submission of the Honorable Ngopek, who was trying to incite you, as if this rule has eyes.
Nobody has incited me.
Of course, I saw him, Honorable Speaker, but of course you were smart to...
Nobody has incited me, but I'm also telling you, much as even if you stand 10 times, but if the Speaker has not given you time to speak, will you speak?
Exactly, that's why...
But at the same time, if somebody is standing up on a point on clarification, I have seen so many times ministers not wanting clarification, but the presiding officer says, clarify, take it, give way. Why are you abusing that?
So, Chair, it's just because the presiding officer does that discretionarily because doesn't know the matter of clarification from the member at the time the member rises.
We've never asked for what clarification. All we want is let the member seek for a clarification.
That's my point, Right Honorable Speaker,
Okay,
and I think
okay.
they are getting away with not accounting for the actions.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you
Then
so
Egwalu.
much. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Chair. Madam Chair, you are the custodian of the rules that we are making. And here is a problem that sometimes members want clarifications from the ministers. And sometimes it's very important matters that needs clarification even on the ground. But the minister might deliberately fail. So, Madam Chair, being the custodian of the rules that we are making, I think this is a very simple matter. Any point of interruptions must go through the Speaker.
and you know the interest of your members that they want clarification. So if it's through the speaker, I see no way how a minister can consistently and repeatedly refuse to deny the point of interruption, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Madam Speaker, we have seen situations here in this House where members have sought clarification only once, and you have allowed a member to ask the minister, and ministers have given way. Of course, we also have ministers who fear to respond to questions from members. But with your discretionary powers, we have seen situations where you have allowed members here to raise their matters to the ministers. Just like point of procedure, just like order, it is at the discretion of the speaker. So my humble view is that the way it is, and members also, the ministers, should be able to give way. Why do you fear to respond to our clarifications? Thank you very much.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair. Madam Chair, with your leave, we've just observed that we are still having problems of the Electoral Commission, because when the minister was here to present, we asked for clarification and the minister did not grant us that option to clarify on those matters. So up to this day, the problem still exists. We haven't got solutions, whereas the minister came and presented a statement, then later on he left. So when we want clarification...
I have not even heard one word you say.
Apologies.
So can I have Doug?
Right Honourable Speaker, considering the many different views we have on this, and for avoidance of clogging the system going forward, I move that the proposed amendment under Rule 78C2 be deleted.
Chair.
Right Honourable Chair, I'm going to respond to the request of the Attorney General. But before I do that, I have to say this. Sometimes the reason why people have been jumping, or colleagues have been raising point of procedure, whereas they are not point of procedure, or even order when it is not, is because they are afraid to get the clarification. So they move around and they say procedure. Moreover, it is not procedure at all. But having said that, I hope the executive has picked the lesson that members want the clarification. And if you continue behaving the way you are, we shall bring the amendment again. As of now, for peace, let us consider that particularly. But if you do continue behaving like it has been, we shall be back with that amendment. I concede right or no.
Thank you. Honorable members, I put a question that Rule 78, with its attendant amendments, as proposed by the committee and modified by Doug, be approved by this honorable House. Those in favor say, and the contrary nay. Let's have it.
Rule 82.
82.
Right Honourable Speaker, the committee proposes the following amendment. In Sub-Rule 1 and A, in Sub-Rule 1, by inserting immediate after the word shirt, the words cravat and flaps. B, the other time I tried to explain to colleagues what cravats and flaps are. The presiding officer now is putting on a cravat. The flaps are those which are, they are distinct from the cravat. B, by deleting sub-rule 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2, in sub-rule 1A, by substituting for sub-paragraph 2 the following: decent dress with sleeves or dress with jacket. B, by substituting for paragraph 3 the following: decent blouse with sleeves and decent skirt or decent trouser, or decent blouse with jacket and decent skirt or decent trouser. C, by deleting subparagraph 4. 3, by inserting immediately after sub-rule 2 the following: a member attending house or committee meeting who does not adhere to the dress code prescribed in sub-rule 1A shall be cited for being out of order, and the presiding officer shall order the member to withdraw immediately from the house or committee and return when dressed in accordance with the rules. 4, for purposes of this rule, decent means dressing in a manner that is socially acceptable and generally considered to be smart, good, reasonable, and portrays a good image of Parliament. Justification: to maintain decorum and dignity of Parliament. But I'll do some explanation on the justification. Honorable colleagues, members of Parliament should be an inspiration to the public. The way we speak and the way we dress and the way we conduct ourselves. We cannot have a house and it's like a market. People come dressed in all manner of curtain materials. And we have a problem, Right Honorable Speaker. We know the work, the very good work done, for example, by our staff, the doorkeepers. They are very, very good members of staff. But sometimes a member walks in like a doorkeeper. You don't know whether is this a doorkeeper or this is a member of Parliament. 3, colleagues, sometimes our staff are smarter than the MPs. So it is in pursuit of decorum, of respect, that we think we should not only be MPs but appear to be members of Parliament. And that's why we are proposing this. Right Honorable Speaker, you've got this thing called, is it Mandela shirts? Everybody walks in here and so without mentioning individual names, I think it is time to look in our rules such that we give that impression, that image of what a member of Parliament should be. And this is not too much to ask, honorable colleagues. For those of you who are professionals, everybody knows that, for example, the lawyers, they know how they dress in courts of law. Doctors, even nurses, they dress in a particular way to, 1, distinguish them from their patients. Lastly, about the UPDF. 1, the membership of the UPDF in this House is constitutional. Nobody should think that this rule in any way touches the status of members of the UPDF in this House. That's number 1. Number 2, I've heard people say that we are banning a UPDF uniform from the House. Far from the truth. No person in his sane, sound mind can do that, because certainly it will be unconstitutional. However, just look at the member of the UPDF currently seated in this House. Extremely smart. Just look at them. They're extremely smart. And there is also another pair of uniform which they use. They have something like a khaki. The upper one is like a plain khaki, but it's also plain. And then they put in something green. It is sort of ceremony, I think. I don't know how they call it. But it is some khaki shirt up. Smart. And in any case, the UPD officers here should be identified sometimes by their own ranks. So they cannot come here dressed in civilian uniform. We would like them to come here, if they so wish, in their uniform. Then I can say Kano Nekesa, I can say Geno Mujira, because their ranks are on their shoulders and they can only be in uniform. However, we have one exception, which we are proposing, that our UPDF officer should not put combat uniform when they are in the house. They must door. Why? Because ordinarily, right on.
Continue.
If you can save
Please continue.
This house from Onongongpek. Because generally, these are supposed to be, for example, like a combat materials or uniforms, or even if they are dressed in their own camouflage, or even in their own barracks and so on, that is okay. But when you are here, like we are prescribing a dress code for members of parliament, even us, we are not allowed to come here dressed as the way we wish. But we are saying in the rules we should dress this way. So we do request that the UPDF officers dress formally, smartly, like we see them now. We have no objection. Madam Chair, I beg to move.
No, there's a minority. Minority.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable, can I first ask a question before you hear the minority? Assuming somebody, say on Fridays, puts on a council and a court, is that acceptable or not?
Right, Honourable Speaker, since we released this report, we have had a number of interactions with the colleagues. And one issue that has been pertinent is about the council.
And a court.
The council. And we sort of have a consensus that on that one we are going to concede.
A council and a court.
Yes, and a court.
Yes.
And a court. On that one we are ready to concede.
Chair.
Yes.
Chair, I am Right Honourable Chair. I'm happy to hear my chairman saying he's intending to concede on that, because it was a matter before the committee and there was a bit of disagreement. So I disagree with the removal of kanzu and jacket. That one I disagree. I propose that we remove the military attire, and the argument is clear. Military attire. That is 6. That is 8216 military attire for members of the armed forces. How wish members would listen. You ask which one.
Honourable members, you listen. First listen.
So, Right Honourable Speaker, to me and to many of us do not understand the variance of those military attires. The military attire is a military attire. To us, this is a civilian space. Military attires are very intimidative. Actually, the pips my colleague is arguing for, that's important that we get to see the pips. Actually, that intimidates people more. When you hear someone is a general, you may kind of subdue some people because of the pips. So my argument is, Right Honourable Chair, that military attires should not be a space for Parliament. They should come here as colleagues, dressed in their civilian wear. Important to know, Right Honourable Speaker.
Yes, members, first listen to her point of dissent. We are listening to the point of dissent.
Right Honourable Speaker, we all come from different professions. You know, even lawyers have a style of wearing. They're not going to come with their clothing here as lawyers. And doctors have their style. So we recognize that we all come from different professions, and as we enter Parliament, we leave our professions out, and we enter Parliament as representatives of people. So I recommend that military attire be removed for both men and women, I recommend that we should insert on the female wear, we insert hijab as an acceptable wear for women members of parliament and leave on kanzu and coat.
What hijab is what you're putting on? Yes, we have not said you are removing that, Hajat.
Right, Honorable Speaker, a hijab is not in our rules as of now, and a hijab is surviving.
So we are inserting
How I
a
wish the
hijab.
love master would listen. And right, Honorable Speaker, a hijab currently is surviving on allowance of traditional wear. Okay. Now, when you delete traditional wear, a hijab will have no room. So unless we leave there traditional wear, or we insert hijab as unacceptable wear for Muslim women in this parliament.
Hajat, one we've accepted, we insert a council with a court. Okay? Then the hijab.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Wait, order of members. I just want to make a clarification. We have a hijab for religious aspect. We have a council with a trouser inside. Don't come without a trouser. And a coat. Yes? Wait.
Right, Honorable Speaker, as you deliberate on this issue of councils, we need to specify that there should be a long trouser inside the council. Because it has happened here before. I don't want to go into detail.
Honorable members, I want to first of all commend the UPDF that we have in this house. I think we have the most disciplined UPDF in this house. The most disciplined. At times I even forget that they belong to UPDF. The UPDF that you have here. And secondly, that uniform they are putting on is official uniform. It is not a gazetted. It is not the other Madoa. That is the one we are saying we don't want. But this one, this is like the one we put on in Chankwan's. Let me hear from General.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to, with due respect, debunk what the Honorable Kawanda submitted, that this is for civilians and we have to put on civilian attire. We are a constituency known to the Constitution, for your information. So we have to be identified as
they are elected here as UPDF.
And the only identifier is uniform. Now the detail of what uniform is suitable for this environment is what we are talking about. I agree the camouflage uniform is for combat. We have number one, the red tunic for the army, and then the blue for the Air Force and the other services. This one is number two for its work dress. So maybe if the committee agrees and Parliament agrees, we can approve number two for purposes of Parliament.
Thank you, Daudi.
And we have no objection at all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable members, I am part of the Gomesi team.
Right, Madam Chair, we concede on the Gomez.
Yes.
Why?
Honorable Daudi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Chair, Right Honourable Speaker, I would request that
Honourable members, can we have some order?
the chair suggests that a member attending house or committee meeting who does not adhere to the dress code prescribed in Sub-Rule 1 shall be cited for being out of order. Right Honourable Speaker, I would also request that we insert in a member attending house physically and virtually, because we have seen members here on Zoom.
Honourable members, let me first say, honourable members, one time somebody was voting on Zoom, and the person, I don't say.
Honourable Chair, I concede to the Honourable Kabanda's
Thank
amendment.
you. Yes, Honourable Rone. Honourable Rone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, this parliament is in Africa. Madam Chair, I'm one of the people who respect African culture. Madam Chair, it will be unfair. The UPDF have been accepted. The other side has been accepted. Then you chase away the African way. I'm smart in right now. People like Macho, very smart in the African way. People like that man, very smart in the African way. So I request African way to be accepted. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Let me first have a Bualu. Okay.
Right Honourable Speaker, I wanted to inform Honourable Orone that African wear is not defined. You can even bring here a back cross, which we call Orubugo. So, I have never seen you in a back cross. I think we should not accept that, right, Honourable Speaker.
Asuman, Honourable Asuman, go back where you're sitting. Go back. Go back.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honourable.
Madam Speaker, we have seen members walk into this house just because of the African wear or traditional wear.
Like
Some of them walk into this house with blouses. That's because it is traditional wear. Madam Speaker, I want to implore our members that the chairman of the committee has done a commendable job. And these people want to hide, putting on is it kaunda, is it what? That must be banned. Let me conclude. No. Madam Speaker, just like the chairman said, order, you'll be thrown out.
Anifa.
Just like the chairman said, we must inspire people out there who are watching us. Before I came to this parliament, I used to watch the likes of Abuduka Tuntu, the likes of Okupa, the likes of Okule Park, the likes of what, how they dress. I started dressing like that. Madam Speaker, we must inspire people who are out there. If you don't want to put on a suit like this, you go back to Toroma wear. But we must put on suits.
Madam Speaker,
Yes. Can you withdraw the word Toroma? Ebualu.
Madam Speaker.
Ebualu, withdraw the word Toroma. That's a
Madam
personal
Speaker.
attack.
Madam Speaker, I withdraw. If I don't want to put on a suit, let me go back to Soroti. I withdraw.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay. I withdraw Toroma.
Madam Speaker, first of all, colleagues, I want to thank my brother, Honorable Rone, for raising an issue on African wear. We can all go back to our wardrobes, and I want to confirm, I Speaking has quite a number of African wears. And I want to say the following as I debate on this subject matter. First, I support the proposal by the committee. Friends, we must be sincere to ourselves. This is the National Assembly of the Republic of Uganda. It is even wrong for us to begin comparing African wear to the UPDF uniform. Please, the UPDF is our national army, and they also have a designated uniform for these specific functions, like the way General has just stated it here. So for us to come here and begin imputing and trying to compare an African wear with a back cloth, friends, Madam Speaker, with due respect, I always admire the LOP. The LOP has never come here in an African wear, but I like him whenever he's out there, he's on African wear doing his normal duties. So can we take our African wares for our constituency work to continue being African? But for purposes of this National Assembly, I want to implore us